Newcomers leads them though. It's Caracapo who shows the way by the 550, a half to 3/4 Daraja Jewel. Over on the outside, 3 deep in actual fact is Mr. Merton. Menon Road is down on the inside as they approach the bend. Almost 2 lengths Nitro Bell, Cloak and Dagger, followed by Dia de la Raza. Then Ram Rui and Pashmina. Homeward bound though, 350 to go, and Brown livens up the leader Caracapo. Drew a length and a half Daraja Jewel, but he immediately went for the Persuader. Mr. Mert is battling on well. Caracapo tackled by Daraja Jewel, but Caracapo's responding. It shakes off Daraja Jewel, Cloak and Dagger, and the newcomer prevails, Caracapo. Strong effort to lead all the way, beat Daraja Jewel, Cloak and Dagger. In behind them for fourth, not really sure, Dia de la Raza, Ram Rui in the middle, then was Mr. Mert, Menon Road. A gap in the field to Nitro Bell, and last all of the way was Pashmina. Been a good tip around here for this 3-year-old Caracapo, ridden by Jason Brown. He looks a nice type too by Hassan, and he has sprung the gates brilliantly. Bounding straight to the lead, he had Daraja Jewel camped up there, challenged fleetingly, but then was able to shrug off Daraja Jewel. Cloak and Dagger coming off the back of the pace, running on. And that's about how they'll finish, with Mr. Mert back there in about 4th placing in a time of 1:05.80. Number 2, Caracapo, raced by Sam Trimboli, by Hassan. From the Dane Hill mares, Mitz's Rose, prepared by Jim Taylor and handled by Jason Brown. 6 even and 2:30. Daraja Jewel by Demerit from Aquavelva for Steve Litton. Also His Royal Highness Tunku Sultan Abu Bakar Aslan and Darryl Litton, trained by Simon Miller. Peter Nucky there, the rider. And Cloak and Dagger, a scandal keeper, Lady Mambo gelding for Mrs. D.N. and G. Pratt, D.F. Preston, Fred Fairthorne Jr., Todd Bunter, R. Starkey, Mrs. K.J. and N. Ryan, B. Armstrong, P. Jackson, Robbie Payton, J. Eaton and J. Criddle, W. Pike aboard for trainer Danny Morton, as we wait for the officials to come to hand on the semaphore. But this has been a pretty sharp performance by a horse having his first start. He was really strong under the urging of Jay Brown in the late part. Caracapo doing it from start to finish and scoring in the Devil's Lair handicap on debut. Next of the day, the running of the Lavazza handicap, race 5 at 3:45, and no changes in the next on the card. It's 2-7-3-4. Official Caracapo, Daraja Jewel, Cloak and Dagger, with Mr. Mert weighing in 4th placing. And Jim Taylor would have been buoyed by the exuberance of rival trainers this morning on the Sports Daily. And no doubt came to the races much more confident than he would have otherwise been. He's down there at the moment, and he's with Mark Olmos.
Yeah, it's a great production, that Sports Daily, Darren. I've got winning trainer down here with me, Jim Taylor. Jim, it looks like you've got a very, very smart one here.
Yeah, Mark, he's a nice horse, and good. Sam's put a lot of money into the game, a very good owner. Had him for ever since I started training, so I think this is probably his nicest horse he's had for a while.
Jimmy, just tell us a little bit about the horse. We mentioned pre-race. He's had 3 preparations now. It's taken 3 preparations to get him to the race. Has he got any issues or any quirks, or just a slow maturer?
No, he's still a very big horse, Mark, and been shin sore 3 times, and just didn't want to rush him.
Jimmy, where do you see him getting to? Obviously, he will make Saturday grade. How far can he go?
I think he'll make a nice Saturday horse, and especially when he gets over 14 or longer.
You think 1,400 metres, a mile, that's his go?
Yeah, he's a big relaxed horse. He's sort of well educated and he jumped well, but I think, in time he will be better over that distance.
And Jimmy, just the one runner for the day, one winner. Go put your feet up, mate.
Yeah, all done now.
Well done, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mark.
Jimmy Taylor there, winning trainer. A fantastic performance by this galloper. Looks to have some really, really nice upside. Being led in the club colours of Perth Racing, of course, and they've got a very nice horse on their hands here. Maturing type and one with plenty of scope. You've got to love the way that Jason Brown, he tried to restrain him, but and then he held him back. Then when asked to sprint in the straight, he gave a lovely, lovely kick under Jason Brown. Really looking forward to hearing Jason's thoughts on this runner. He looks to be a very, very progressive type. As Darren mentioned, a big spruik this morning on radio, and we hope you, the punters, certainly got in at the price that it was. Around $9, I think Tab Touch may have opened up. So well done if you got on there. We'll have a quick chat to Jason Brown here once he weighs in, of course. Jason Brown weighs in all good. Jason, tell us a little bit about this horse. He looks to be one out of the box.
Oh, well, he's doing it just on his natural ability. You know, Jimmy hasn't sort of been real hard on him yet. He's just sort of let him come through with his size and hasn't sort of, pushed the button on him yet. So what he does this prep will just be on his natural ability. But I think he's a horse that's going to develop into a nice Saturday horse.
Tell us a little bit about the feel he gives you, Jason. Of course, he jumped really nicely, and then you asked him to relax, he did. And then as soon as you gave him a tap in the straight, whoosh, off he went.
Yeah, well, he actually got to really judge the jump really well. He got out with a fly, and I thought I'd probably sit outside. I didn't think I'd find the front, but I was happy to find the fence. And he wanted to sort of get a little bit keen, probably passing the 700. But then he came back to me nice, and he did what he had to beat that field today.
We heard from Jimmy that he'll get over 1,400 metres and a mile. Does he seem like a leader moving forward, or will he be better with a bit of cover?
Oh, he'll tell us that. We just sort of, whatever looks. If they look to, he can take up a lead one day. He will do that. If we can't, well, we'll come off him. So just judge each race that comes along.
Jason, you've got an ex-Victorian, I think it is in the last race, Crinkle Cut. You rode in a trial recently. Any chance here today?
I don't think I've ridden him in the trial.
Sorry,
Troy Turner's, he got off him to ride something else, but I say his ride's come out. But Rob Harvey's happy with the horse, and hopefully we're thereabouts.
Jason, thanks for joining us. Best of luck.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot, mate.
Jason Brown there, the winning rider on the very smart one, Cara Capo from the Jimmy Taylor yard. That is race 4.